Hey, listener, I am so excited to have a guest today that is a member of our church, Infinity Church, and he has a testimony. It's a hard testimony, but sometimes the hard testimonies are the ones that really will encourage people because life is difficult sometimes, and we're all going to have to walk a difficult path at some point. And so Tommy is walking that path right now. He's been walking it for quite a while now with cancer. And so, Tommy, welcome to the
Well,
podcast.
thank you. I'm glad to be here. Just hope I can do a good job.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you will. We have been trying to get this together for at least a year,
At
maybe
least,
longer.
yes, at least.
So
Uh,
I am glad that he was finally able to make it. And so, Tommy, just tell the listener a little bit about you and your family, just where you are right now, and your wife, and how long you've been married, and all that stuff.
okay, well, my name is Tom Jennings, like you said. Um, I was born in 1960 and I grew up in Woodruff and Fountain Inn area. I went in the military, but when I got out of the military, I started hung around here. I've been working at my job for almost 39 years.
Now, where do you work?
I work at Tucker Materials.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Yeah.
drywall delivery company.
Yeah.
And I started there June 25th, 1988. And I was wanting to make it to 40 years, but then all of a sudden this came along. But anyway, I've been married since 2015 to my wife, Cindy. She has three kids. I have one kid. We have a total of 13 grandkids. Um, and if the cancer don't get me, being crazy will get me. So
Because 13 grandkids is a lot of
a
grandkids.
lot. And I have seen days we've had eight or nine of them at the house to spend the night at one
Wow.
time.
Wow.
But yeah, we've been together since 2015. We were together before that, but we got married in 2015. I had a massive heart attack in 2013, and she happened to be there. And so she helped me through that, along with my support group at Infinity Church, who
Mm,
has been there for me ever since I started going there in 2013.
mm.
So they walked me through that, and then I ended up found out I had cancer, and right about the start of COVID in April the 20th of 2020. I actually smoked big time, and
Mhm.
7 days before that, on April 13th, I was smoking a cigarette, and I walking out to the truck, and I says, I don't need this. I threw the cigarette down, stepped on it, and never touched another one since.
Wow.
I had a pack in my pocket for 2 weeks and two packs laying on the floor of my truck,
Wow.
and I never touched them and never had a craving for one. But anyway,
That's a miracle.
yes, so then I started I had to go to my family doctor first, and then she sent me to an ENT, and I had a little knot right here on my chin that was moving around, so they didn't think it was cancer, so they took some samples for a biopsy and said it wasn't nothing, but it wouldn't go away. So finally, he brought me in for. And anytime you want me to shut up, just tell me.
Well, I want to go back if
Okay.
that's okay, because I want to get into that. I kind of want to go through your life a little bit
Okay.
because I don't know you very well. I know you at church and I just know
Mhm.
that you're just a godly example,
Mhm.
and you're, even though all the things you struggled through, you're up there on the front row, as many Sundays almost as I can, unless you're in the hospital or battling something
Yeah.
that you just can't make it. So I want to go back and I want to know more about you.
Okay.
So did you grow up in a Christian home, and how did all that?
Not really. Well, we did go to church a lot at first, and so yes, we were in a Christian home for a long time. And then things happened, and one of my parents started drinking a lot. But my mom, she worked the whole time. They both passed away. She passed away. He passed away in 1985, and she passed away in 1990.
Gosh, how so you were like 25
Mm, yes,
when you're
25 when my dad passed away. So I
wow.
just got out of the military. But yeah, we went to church and over in Crescent, actually called Bellevue Baptist Church. We went there forever, and I love going to church. I always have, and like I said, he finally became a good Christian, and every time he started going to a church, and every time them doors opened, he was at the doorsteps waiting to get in.
Mm,
So he went from one extreme to the next.
yeah.
So I
And
loved him for that.
you said that was Pleasant Grove Baptist
Mm,
Church,
that's a
right?
great
Yeah,
church.
that's right in Fountain. And we used to go to that
Yeah,
church too, and that's a great church.
yeah. I went there a few times with him, but I love our church.
Yeah.
So I know everybody, a
Yeah.
majority of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that happened, and then like I said, and then she passed away in '90. So what else?
So you joined this, like, do you have any siblings or?
I have a sister that's alive, and she's a year older than I am. Her name's Gail. I have another sister, which is a half sister, well, she lives in Atlanta, and her name is Chris. She's doing real good. And Chris's mom was my sister, and it's a long story on that. My mom and dad adopted Chris Ann,
Okay.
my sister in Myrtle Beach, she passed away quite a few years ago, and she was not leading the good life, so ended
Mm.
up getting the best of her.
Oh.
And same thing with my son. I got a son that lives in Charleston, and he was going down the wrong road, and he is slowly, hopefully, getting back into shape and realizing that I ain't gonna be around a long time, and he needs to straighten up to
Mm.
where he can see me as much as he can. 'Cause I finally got to the point where I told him, I said, son, I kept you up for 20 something years. I says, I'm going through all this stuff. I said, now it's time for you to keep yourself up.
Yeah.
I said, I can't worry about you anymore.
Yeah.
So ever since then, he's been up and down, but
Well, at least he's trying. So
yes.
how old were you when you married the first time?
I was 26 or 27.
Okay. All right. And then you weren't married for a very long time?
Maybe 2 years, but separated probably most of that time. So,
Oh, wow.
but I had custody of my son since he was like 8 months old. Um, Single parent, and
And then your parents, so what year was he born?
1988.
Okay, so you lost your parents right after that. So who helped you?
Well, my sister, actually, Gail, helped me. Where I lived at, there was a couple of doors down, a real good friend of ours. She would babysit for me a
Mm.
lot. And one time I moved to Moonville, and the daycare there, they would open up early for me to go to work, and they would
Wow.
stay late for me to get home and pick him
Man,
up.
that's
I
awesome.
mean, God was with me the whole time. He had everything planned out.
Wow. Yeah,
So
because I mean, that's really, you don't see many dads that are the ones being the caregivers and
yeah,
taking, full custody.
yeah.
That's kind of unusual to see that. So how hard was that?
It was a task raising him. His started off, he was really good. I mean, he's a smart kid, smart as a whip, and he grew up and he just got hanging with the wrong crowd,
Mm.
and he got into a bunch of trouble, and he went to jail for a couple of years, and
Oh,
it was a major crime too.
oh,
I'm talking
good.
about a very major. He didn't do it, but the person who was with it did it.
Yeah.
So luckily, he had a good lawyer, and he got him out of that. So he straightened up for a little bit, and then he started going, hanging with his old friends again, getting in trouble, drinking and drugs, and so I had to deal with that most of my life.
Oh gosh.
So it's stressful, very
It
stressful.
and heartbreaking.
Yes, very heartbreaking. Knowing you done everything you could, back in the days, I would work from 6:30 in the morning till I have seen days I've worked 26 hours straight
Oh my
delivering
gosh.
drywall.
Wow.
So,
That is a
uh,
lot. And I know that, I mean, I'm sure that that was hard on him too, because you
yeah,
being gone like
yeah.
that. But,
So it was, and when I was doing that, my neighbor down the street, they were good friends of mine, he would just stay with her at her house overnight. So
hmm.
then, but
So if there's somebody out there, like if there is a dad that's out there, because I mean, of course, regardless, if you're a single parent, you're working a lot,
yes.
regardless. So, is there anything you could look back and say, maybe if I'd have done this differently, or do you think it's just Maybe just it was just the friends that he was
Yeah.
around.
Well, that had a lot to do with it, but I wasn't the best parent in the world. I did do a lot of drinking. We were the rednecks. I lived in a trailer park, and on race day, we'd have our TV. I'd have my TV put out on the front porch. We'd be sitting there drinking beer, and we was in the trailer park, and my house was the only one that the people in the trailer park would let their kids come to,
Oh, wow.
even though we were sitting up there drinking.
Yeah.
And they knew that they would be safe. So that had a lot to do with it, I think, and or at least that's what he's told me.
Hmm.
And working all the time. The main thing is you need to spend time with them.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. And that's hard to do when you're
Yes,
wore out and working all the
yeah, it
time.
is.
But I guess I feel like sometimes God can multiply our time if we'll ask Him
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and open up opportunities to spend more quality time
oh, yeah.
with our kids because it's not easy.
No, it's not. It
It's
is not. And then when they get to an age where they just want to go to their friends all the time, you just left at home by yourself.
mm-hmm.
And like I said, when he was in school, he was smart as he could be, and he's got two kids that live with us that are the same way. They're just as, I mean, they're both AB. Well, the oldest one graduated a year early, and
Wow.
he had a 3.0 grade, 3.04 grade average. And the youngest one that's still in the school, she's in the 11th grade, and hers is 3.4.
That's
So
great. Yeah.
they get their smarts from their papa.
Yeah,
That's
that's right. So,
what I tell them. They get their looks from their daddy, but their smarts from.
so how did that transpire? So, how long have you had your grandkids? Has it been like before you and Cindy got together or?
We were not married, but we were together. And what had happened was it was the time that my son was in the jail,
Mm.
and his girlfriend had kids, and she was out and about, and she was high and drinking,
Oh God.
and she hit a tree head on. And the police said that if she had been another few inches over, they would have probably all died.
Oh my
But
gosh.
she done that, and I got a phone call, and I can't remember who it was that called me now. But anyway, I was one of the first ones at the hospital, other than her boyfriend. And the grandson didn't get a scratch on. They neither one of them had seatbelts on, but he didn't
Wow.
get a scratch on him whatsoever. He was sitting on the gurney coloring, and but he was like 4,
Mm.
and so I stood there with him. I told their mama's boyfriend to go see her. So then when the next person showed up in my family, I went and seen the girl, Kate, well, whose name is Cadence. And when I got in that room, I fell apart.
What
It was
happened?
that bad. She had a scar all the way across her forehead,
Oh my
and just
gosh.
a little bit more, it probably would have got her eye.
And how old was she?
She was 2,
Mm.
and I actually still have pictures of it.
Mm.
And so my wife, or Cindy, which was not my wife at the time, finally came in, her and my sister. So I went back out and let them go in there. And oh God, they were about as bad as I was. But the cop he came to me and asked me, says, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" And I said, "Yes, sir." So he took me to a room and he said, "Well, have you talked to the mama yet?" And I said, "No, sir." And I said, "It's probably a good idea you don't let me talk to her. I just left the room where the girl was at." He says, "Well, why is that?" I said, "Because then you'd have a murderer on your
Mm.
hands." I said, "Because that was bad."
Yeah.
So the she ended up having to have an operation on it. And so we were sitting there while she was in the room, and what's it called?
The third.
No, the health department people.
Oh, like DSS.
DSS.
Yeah. Yeah.
The girl came in. We'd been talking to her luckily for a long time, trying to get them to let us have custody.
Oh.
And so finally, she walked in there and she says, "Well, y'all, I came to y'all first and when I found out who it was, and I found out who was here, and seeing that your names were on that, on the thing was being here, said I came to y'all first." Said, and I don't even know if Cindy and I were living together. I think we might have been, but you know how it was back then. That wasn't nothing but a thing. But anyway, she looked at us. She said, "Just gonna let you know, the kids are not going with their mama."
Mm,
Says, and I know you've been fighting for them kids for a long time. So you get first choice. Do
mm,
y'all want to take them with you, or do you want me to see if her parents wants them? I said, they're going with us.
yeah.
Actually, I looked at Cindy and she says, yeah, we'll take them.
Oh God.
So we've had them ever since. And
Wow, that's a long
yes,
time.
it is. He finally got out of jail a year or so later, and but about the time we were going to court to get custody, full custody, and she never contested it because I told her, I said, if you don't contest, I won't file for child support. I said, you
Mm,
just let us have them and something. But I think she's still pretty bad off. So
really?
yeah, so,
So you have full custody
mm,
of them now?
yeah. So
Okay. So that's a hard thing to
oh
have
yeah.
to take in children that age when you're older
And
like
luckily I
that.
had Cindy. She was, and her and Alice and her daughter, Cindy's daughter, they have been a blessing for all this,
Mm, that's
as far
awesome.
as helping out.
Yeah. So you you were single for how many years?
Probably, let's see, she was married for 25 and I was single for like 25.
So then I know you said you had a heart attack. Talk about that and then how Cindy came into your life.
Okay. Well, my heart attack, I just come home from work one day and I just got through helping a guy walk some board, sheetrock up the stairs, some drywall. And first when I took up, I got where I couldn't breathe. So I sat down and relaxed. And finally we got back and I drove home. And I said, well, let me see if they want me to stop and get some hot dogs or something. So I stopped at a little place, Hot Dogs in the morning, got some hot dogs. Walked in, put in a yard, got out of my truck, walked through the door, and walked to my kitchen, which is probably 50, 75 feet, and I could not breathe.
Mm,
I mean, I couldn't breathe for nothing. So I said, well, I'm gonna go sit on the couch. And it was Cindy was there, her niece's boyfriend, and a bunch of all their kids and our kids. So I never hurt. I just couldn't breathe. And they finally told me, said, well, and actually the niece's boyfriend told me, says, you got two choices. You get off your butt, go get in the truck, or we're calling the ambulance to come in here and get you off your butt.
mm.
So I got in the truck and we drove all the way to Greenville and stopped and got us a drink and
Oh my
yeah, and
gosh.
I was actually still smoking then.
Wow.
So we got to the hospital and I never, like I said, I never did hurt, just couldn't breathe. So they took me back into the room and they had like two nurses in there checking me out and one of them walked out and the next thing you know, there was 8 or 10 people walked in that room and they were going crazy. So the doctor, I heard him say, look, we need to get him to the catheter and says if we don't, he might not make it.
Oh my gosh.
So they said, well, we got somebody up there and we ended up having to move them out. So I think luckily the other one finished up and they took me up there. And I was wide awake when they done the heart cath. And so they done it and they was about to take me off the table and put me on the gurney and take me back to the room. And the doctor came over the intercom and said, don't move him, put him back. So he came back in the room. He says, well, I'm going to tell you right now, we got to put balloons in there. If we don't put a balloon in his heart, he won't make it till in the morning.
Oh my God.
So the next day done that. And the next day they put me in the operating room. I had to have a quadruple bypass. I had what they call a widowmaker.
Oh,
And I think one of my veins were 98% blocked and three of them were 88% blocked.
mm,
So they did that and I stayed in the hospital. I thought I was only in there for a couple of days, but Cindy said I was knocked out for a week.
wow.
So,
That's a major,
yes.
major surgery.
Yeah, amen. It is. And I got the zipper to prove it. But when I got through with that, they sent me to do rehab. And lady was doing my paperwork and she kept doing this and looking up at me and doing this. And I said, what are you doing? I said, you keep looking up. She said, well, sis, I'm just making sure you're here because you're not supposed to be here.
Mm,
She said, you're supposed to be dead.
wow.
So,
That's
yeah,
incredible.
God was good there. And when I woke up from that, one of the first things that I heard on TV, I think, was about God and the devil pulling at you. One of them at the head of the bed, one of them at the foot of the bed. Which one are you going to let go.
Mm,
You're gonna let the devil go and let the Lord take you. And I ended up letting the Lord take me. So
mm,
he brought me through all that too. So,
yeah. So when did y'all start coming to Infinity Church? Had you continued going to church during all this time while you were single?
well, what? Yeah. Well, actually, the church is the one that married us.
Okay.
So we were going there since early 2013
To
and
Infinity.
to infinity.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Before that, were you going to
no,
church? Okay.
no,
All right.
we had talked about it and talked about it and just laziness and not
It-
sure what to do. So we just
It's easy.
couldn't find the fun
It's
again.
really easy for
Yep.
that to happen,
Yes.
especially if you leave a church for a
Yeah.
reason and then try to find
Yeah.
another church.
Exactly.
It's really hard
And she used to go to Pine Grove too, and but
because you said you knew her from years
way
past.
back, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we just couldn't decide, and we didn't like a big church.
Yeah.
We went to a couple of them just once or twice, and we went to Capstone, and it was way too big for us.
And that's pretty small
But
church.
yes, and we like a church where we know people, and
Yeah.
you don't come in there and you're just a number.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's important.
yes, so we finally came to Infinity. Actually, one of Cindy's friends invited us over there. So we came over there and we were welcomed by Dan and the pastor and all of them, and everybody just treated us like we were family from
Yeah.
right off the bat.
Yeah. That's one
So,
thing when we went, because our whole family decided, because, my kid, well, Jacob was married, my son, Elise wasn't married then, but my daughter-in-law said it's like that's their spiritual gift
mm-hmm.
is welcoming people. They know how to make people feel invited and
Yep,
included.
it
And
is.
that's the truth.
It is.
So,
And Dan don't never forget a
no,
name.
I wish I had that memory.
I know exactly. I forget my own name. Just listen to somebody else's.
He's really good at that.
Yes, he is. He is good.
Yeah. So you got through the heart attack and everything,
Yep.
and then y'all got married
Mm,
after the heart attack
yep.
thing. Were you able to? So you said you worked at this place, but you were delivering sheetrock back then. Like, did you still do that after you had your heart attack?
No, I worked in the office for a long time.
Okay.
In 1323. I'd probably already moved into the office, as a matter of fact.
Okay. All right.
But I'd hauled sheetrock for 20 years before
That's
that.
a hard
So
job.
yes, and so I worked in the office, but where I worked in dispatch, and just so happened the windows right here at the warehouse, and every time a customer would come in and there wouldn't be nobody walking around, they'd come over there, knock, 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 knock. So I'd get up and go out and help them with the
Oh.
load their truck with
You
wires wiring
serious?
me up.
My
Yes.
gosh, I'm sure you
So
should not have done
I don't
that.
know. I shouldn't.
But you didn't
But
have
I did.
anything pop
I,
out.
I can't say no. And like you
You
said,
need to say no.
like you said, luckily nothing popped out. So,
Yeah.
when I
Wow.
had the surgery, I woke up and I had tubes here, I think it was, and had a wire on top and on bottom of my heart.
Mm.
And it came out and is there just in case they had to hook jumper cables up to it.
Oh my
So
gosh.
they pull a cord in there, I guess, and hook the cables up.
Wow.
But when I finally, the worst part was the tube. I
Mm.
couldn't stand that.
The
That
tube that went down
that
your
was
throat.
yes.
Oh yeah.
But when they went to pull all them tubes and all out, it was pretty wicked because those wires were actually naked wires,
Oh.
and they were laying up against your heart. When
Oh
they
my
pull them, you could feel it
gosh.
kind of scraping your heart. And I said, "Dang, that's wicked."
Oh.
So I get into stuff like that. So
But it didn't feel good, I'm
no,
sure.
it didn't hurt.
It didn't
No,
hurt. Oh
no,
God.
it did not.
Well, you
So
must have a high pain
yeah,
tolerance.
I hauled sheetrock for 20 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've had to haul sheetrock some crazy ways. So pain wasn't too bad. So,
Wow. Well, so you have your heart attack, you and Cindy get married,
mhm.
and then you've got your grandkids that are living with you.
Mhm.
And so then what happens then?
Then, well, we were together. Actually, Cindy had a heart attack
Oh, I didn't
right
know
after we got
that.
married. Yeah, she was in Charleston,
Wow.
and she actually flatlined twice on
I
the way to the
did not
hospital.
know that.
She was down there with a friend of hers. She cleaned that lady's house, and she was, I won't mention her names while we're online, but they went to the beach and if I'm mistaken, Cindy was smoking then too. I'm not for sure, but she may have been quit. But she got the feeling bad, so one of the daughters took her to the hospital. And when she got to the hospital, it wasn't in no time they had the helicopter coming in.
Oh my
So
gosh.
they flew from um, Sullivan Island to the Roper Hospital,
Yeah.
your hospital.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish. Yeah. Roper Hospital.
So she
No
got,
relation.
we were at home, and when we found out, so I jumped in the car. My sister was hers, so she said, "I'm going with you." So I went and picked her up, and we went down Route 26. And I tell you what, I didn't never know my truck could go so fast.
Mm,
But we got down there, and um, had to put stents in, I think it was.
hmm
But she was down there for a few days. But the good Lord brought her through that too, and we're beginning to think the church is what's making us sick.
I hope not.
No, it's not. That's why we sit up front so we can get the good Lord's
Yeah.
word.
Let it cover you.
Yeah, I don't want nobody blocking it from me.
That's right. I don't blame
Oh,
you.
so,
But she had two heart attacks, like since you've been married,
but
or
just she had one,
okay, just
and she did have some more heart work though. She had an ablation done up here, um, but she's doing good. She's like I said, she still has little problems with this and that, but we're getting old.
yeah, I
So,
know. Yeah.
but we're down at Roper. I mean, they were really nice too. They were awesome people. So
Oh, that's
we
good.
were sitting on the floor we were on. Her room looked out into the opening area, and there was another wing over there that wasn't being used. They were remodeling a lot of it. And there was one room there that had a little light on. And there was a nurse that would come in there every so often and do something. This the only room. I said, now this looks like a dang horror movie.
That is kind of
Mm.
creepy. I wouldn't want to
Mm,
be the patient over there.
I know. And we were trying to figure out how to get over there so we could see, but we could never figure out they had all the doors locked.
Well,
Oh,
that is very strange.
yes.
So then she's had her heart attack, and
Mm-hmm.
then y'all got married in 2015, had her heart attack, and then 2020, April of 2020, you decide that you don't need to smoke anymore.
Yep.
Both of y'all have stopped
Yep.
smoking. And then now I want to pick back up where you were earlier, where you found this little lump
Mm.
on your jaw.
Well, I found the lump on my jaw and I went to my family doctor and she said, "Well, so I'm gonna give you some antibiotics." So I took antibiotics for a few weeks and I was still smoking at the time.
Hmm
And so she sent me to an ENT and he pulled some out and got some samples and said that it's not testing as cancer or anything like that. So he gave me some more antibiotics. He said, "Now, if this don't go away, don't even bother coming back up here. Just call me." And so when it didn't go away, I called him. He said, "Well, I got you set up for Friday the 13th.
Mm.
No, Friday the 17th,
hmm
April the
April
17th."
17th. Okay.
And so I said, "You'll be in the hospital. We're going to take it out and do a biopsy on it." And so that Monday was the 13th. And I was walking out and I got to thinking about it and got the coffee and got the feeling of that. And I said, I was smoking a cigarette at the time. And I said, I don't need this. So I threw the cigarettes down and never touched another.
Mm.
And that was, like I said, 2020. So then they done the biopsy and found out I did have Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Mm.
And they told me, said, well, if you get cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma is one of the best ones to have.
Wow.
Says it cures pretty easy. And so that was 6 years ago.
Wow.
And they still ain't cured it.
Wow.
So
Gosh. So how did all this progress? Because I know it seems like you've just been going up and down and up and down.
mm,
Because, for a while there, it seemed like everything was going well. And
mhm.
then it's like you just have one struggle after
Yeah,
another.
exactly.
So just walk us through your cancer journey.
I started out, I done that, and then at the ENT, they sent me over to Cancer Center Eastside, and Dr. Fanning, who is a wonderful person. She is so good. So I started going over there, and she started doing chemo on me, and it was probably the middle of April. I'm not really sure, but we done chemo for a long time, probably over a year, year and a half.
Oh my
So
gosh, how
for
often
sure.
did you have it?
I think it was like once a week maybe.
That's
So
a
yeah, yeah.
lot.
But I would go there and do my chemo and leave there and go back to work. So
You,
I
how
never
did
did
you,
slow down.
how did you feel? I mean,
I
after,
never got sick.
really?
Yes, that's what they were amazed at because I never got sick at any of it. So
Wow.
so we done that and like I said, I done that, and then I ended up having some radiation done because my cancer started off as here to here
Uh-huh.
and from my chin to my mid chest. So they done that and um, I'm trying to remember if that cleared up or if it didn't clear up. I can't remember, but anyway. Then she said, well, Tommy says, ain't nothing else I can do. So we sending me to Charleston. So then I went left there and went to Charleston to have a stem cell transplant.
Yeah.
So I got to Charleston and got to knowing them people as Dr. Hess and nurse practitioner. I can't think of her name right now, but
You've had a lot of doctors,
yes.
so.
So we got there and they took us in and they were like family.
Mm.
Well, we still call them family. So
Oh.
they started doing the test and all this, and then I started getting chemo there. And for a while, we'd go back and forth. And then when I had the stem cell done, I had to stay there for like a month.
Mm.
And they wanted to do the stem cell up here, but the insurance company wouldn't pay for it. So they'd rather me go down there, do the stem cell, and
They
then
got
pay for a
money
hotel room.
though.
But we stayed there. I mean, I think we came home, got there in probably September, came home early December, maybe. And
Wow.
so, yeah, we stayed there through, it might have been October, but we stayed there through Thanksgiving.
Now, what year was
And
that?
it was in 2022, maybe.
Okay.
So, and so we stayed there. And like I said, we had our own hotel room. We had to get a hotel room. And luckily, they gave us a deal on it because the insurance will only pay $100 a night.
Oh, God.
So we stayed there. And then the 7 days I ended up in the hospital. I had to stay in the hospital because they had to take my immune system down to zero.
Mm.
So I had to stay in a uh, positive pressure room.
Kind of like a bubble.
Yeah, kind of like a bubble. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I stayed in there and
How
for a
hard
week.
was that?
It was terrible. The started off it wasn't too bad. They took the stem cells out and all that, and then they put me in there when they done the chemo to take my immune system down to zero. The day before they put the stem cells back in, I told Cindy if I'd have known I was gonna feel this bad, I'd have went ahead and let it take me out.
Oh, my
It
goodness.
was just terrible. So I felt like I'd been shot at and missed, pooped at and hit all over.
Oh,
So,
gosh. That's
but
terrible.
they put the stem cells back in the next day, and the day after that, I was ready to go. I was
Wow.
good to go, had energy, and so we kept on doing that and all this stuff. And back then, if you needed, they needed something done, like say, "Can I need to get a CT scan on so and so?" Well, send him right over. I need to get a PET scan. Send him on over. We'll do it right now. Now, you call them and tell them this. Well, it'll probably be 3 or 4 months.
Oh, my
So
God. It's
it
crazy.
is. It's because people don't want to work.
It's
Excuse my, I hate to
awful.
say that, but
It's really bad.
yes. And so we stayed there for, like I said, about a month. I had to stay there a good while afterwards. Just I had to go back and forth to the doctor once or twice a week to let them check me. So we were away from home. Thank God, Allison stayed with the kids.
Mm.
So we had all that covered.
Yeah, because
Uh,
that they would have, well, I mean, they're older.
yeah,
They were older then, but
yeah.
still, what, like, well,
20, he was 13, 6 years ago. He's 13, I think. She might have been 11, something
yeah,
like
so
that.
they still
So,
needed
yeah,
a
somebody
lot of
there.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And somebody to cook for them and all
right.
that too. So she stayed there for them. And we finally got through that and they sent me home and I'd have to go back every so often. And we thought the cancer was good to go. And I think this is about a year later, they done another PET scan and said, well, says, it's back.
Mm.
So and then it came back from like here to mid thigh.
Oh,
And so they ended up having to do more chemo and more radiation. And luckily they let me do the radiation up here.
oh,
Well, the
good.
radiation got my hip infected.
Really?
Yes. And so Cindy and them was out shopping one day. I might just be jumping around. We'll get back to
No,
whatever.
you're fine.
So I was sitting in the recliner and all of a sudden it hit me. Oh my gosh. I could not move. I was hurting so bad. And Cindy said, "Why didn't you come?" I said, "Well, y'all were out having a good time. I didn't want to bother y'all." And I really couldn't get out of a chair or nothing. So I told Cindy, I says, if I would have got out of this chair and got back out of the closet, I probably would have ended it today.
Oh my
It was hurting
gosh.
that bad. So we called the ambulance and they said, well, we can't take him to Greenville. We have to take him to Lawrence. I
Why?
said, that's not in their contract. So we told Cindy, so we told him, said, you just help me get in the truck. I'll go myself. So we jumped in my truck and ended up going. And they said, well, you won't get charged for this. We still got a bill for
Oh,
it. So, but yeah, they said they couldn't do it because it's not in their contract.
that is so
Yeah,
crazy.
it
I mean,
is.
that's where your doctors are. That's where
Exactly.
you needed to
And
be.
that's where they tell me to go.
Yeah.
Even, the doctor in Charleston tells me if I don't come down there, go to Green.
Yeah.
Nowhere else. Because they both work with him. So it's, and plus my cancer doctor, she has a stem cell wing at Greenville.
Oh,
She
wow.
actually helped start the stem cell wing.
That's awesome.
Yes. So I got that taken care of. They ended up going in there to clean it. And as they were doing that, it ended up the bones were so brittle from the chemo and the radiation and all it cracked.
Oh,
So they had to put a
gosh.
rod up through there and then like a joint right there in it. So
So it was kind of like was it a hip
it
replacement
was kind of
or
like a hip replacement, yeah, but just a kind of fixer upper.
did you did they keep you and do this or did you have to go back and
I
have
was
that?
there for a few days, but they went when they went in there to clean it, it was only I'd only been there for a day. And also I was talking about I couldn't swallow my medicine. So
Oh,
while they were doing that, they actually came in there and done the endoscopy at the same time. I said, well, why don't y'all just do it all? They were going to set
right.
up separate times. I said, just do it all while I'm in there. So
Yeah.
you're going to be working here, the other one can be working here. So they finally did that and stretched my throat some, but they ended up cleaning it out, and I felt good for a while. And but now it's starting to hurt again some. So
Oh.
they said that it is infected again. So
Now this is your hip
my
that's
hip, yeah.
infected. So
So
what can they do about that?
well, oh, we got that done. I'll come around to that in a minute.
Okay.
So we got all that done, and then the doctors in Charleston said, "Well, we got one more clinical trial we can try." So they ended up sending me to University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill,
Mm,
to get a T cell done.
okay.
So we got up there to get the T cell done, and I stayed there. We stayed there for a couple months, and they have a
Wow.
place called the Secu House, which is sponsored by people. I mean, these donations and all pretty much take care of it. But luckily, our caseworker found somebody that would take care of our room for us.
Oh,
So
good.
that helped a lot because it was like
Yeah.
$90 a night,
Yeah.
80 or 90.
That adds up when you've
Yes.
got to be gone for
Oh,
so
oh
long.
yes. And see, we had that one room is $54, but it only has the bed and the chair. And when we stay there for so long, they give you um, one with a bedroom, living room, and a kitchen area.
That you need
So
that.
yes, so we had that for like 2 months, and I was scheduled to go up there. They had it open early, so I went up there early. Come to find out, I had an infection, so they had to put me in the hospital for that.
Now
Give
that
me
was an infection
antibiotic.
in the same spot or
No, I don't know. It was some other kind of infection, I think so.
oh gosh.
But yeah, so they put me in, got rid of that, and then they went ahead and took the T cells out. And when they take the T cells out, they had to take my veins were so small at the time. They had to have like small tubes taken out. They run like 20 something tubes of it.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so they took it and right up the road about 20 miles is where they reconstruct your T cells. So they done that and we hung out there for, I think it takes a week or two. And once they got those done, I had to go back in there and get chemo and they'd do it the same thing again. And so then when they got it done, they gave me the T cells back. And so they done that and the thing about it was what they had started off with was a bunch, and then I only had that much to put back in there. So
Is that
that's
how
how it
that's how
works.
it works? Okay, all right.
So, but they put them back in. I started feeling pretty good. Um, Let me think of where I'm at here. So we stayed there, had to stay there again for a while. I got sick a couple times, ended up back in the hospital, started running fevers.
Mm.
So we stayed there, I guess a month after that. And then we finally got to come home and go back. Well, we thought we were good, and they were going to schedule me for an appointment down there. And either there or Greenville, I had to have a CT scan or a PET scan done, one of the two. Well, and it might have been Greenville because I was going to see the radiation doctor about a spot that was in my groin area.
Oh,
So when they done that, uh, got over the day before we went to see the radiation doctor, we got a letter in the mail from North Carolina saying that the T cell transplant can cause a second cancer.
what?
So now, not only do I have Hodgkin's lymphoma, I have squamous cell carcinoma in my lung.
Oh my
So
gosh.
now I got two cancers. Told you I'm stubborn.
Yeah,
Stubborn,
you're
stubborn.
stubborn. That's right.
Oh, so
So, do they think now that you shouldn't have had the T cell, or would it?
well, it was a clinical trial, so you just take it as it goes. That's
Yeah.
all we can do. Ain't nothing you can do about it really, but
Has it helped the other cancer at all, or
I still got it too. It's
so it's?
actually getting bigger. Um,
Mm,
so the one in my groin, they doing a PET scan said it was getting bigger, and then they found one on my thigh the last time, and they done radiation on it, and it actually makes my knee was starting to kill me. It was hurting
mm,
so bad, so it's starting to feel a little bit better. Um, and then they got the one up here. So they done that PET scan, and then he done a CT scan. Then a few days later, I went and done a PET scan in Charleston. Well, I got another CT scan coming up end of May or something like that here. And then beginning of April, I got to go to Charleston and get another PET scan done.
mm.
And that one there is going to be what tells me how much, how bad it's spreading. So that's why we'll go do that one. So
So, what the last PET scan and CT scan? Because you just had that just a couple
a
of
couple
weeks
weeks ago.
ago.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
what all did they say after that?
They there's nothing else they can do for me.
Mm,
I can't have operations because of my platelets. I can't take no more chemo because, it probably doesn't had enough now to eat the inside of my body out.
mm,
Radiation, I can, certain places I could probably get it, but not much.
mm.
So really now just wait and see what that says, and then we'll play it by ear. See what the good Lord says.
So, how did that? How did you feel? How did that hit you when they told you that?
Personally, it didn't bother me.
It didn't.
But you could tell my wife was upset when
Yeah.
she was in there. And the doctor and the nurse practitioner, she was in there, and they were very upset. But like I
Mm,
said, they're like family.
mm,
And so they, when they walked in, you could just, if I get good news, they're going to come in there all happy and
yeah.
shaking hands and say, hey, it's good to see y'all and all this. Well, this time they walk in, hey, how are y'all doing? And,
Mm,
shook my hand and all, and then started telling me all that. But I mean, I was smiling and I said, the good Lord's got me. Whatever happens, happens. Ain't nothing I can do about it.
mm,
So I might as well enjoy it. So,
yeah.
and hopefully be a inspiration to other people.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and like I said, you've always had a good attitude. I haven't known you very long,
mhm.
but every time I see you, you're always upbeat and never seem to be down or, and I think, I mean, not many people can say that,
Yeah.
especially after everything that you've
Yeah.
been through.
I, I started looking at it at the beginning. When I would go in there to get my chemo, I would see people in there it was just unbelievable. It broke my heart to see some of the people. And I said to myself, I said, Lord, you've got me in good shape. I said, so I'm going to pass on the good news and I'm going to let everybody know how how good you help me out and how you keep me going. And he has kept me going for a long
Mm.
time.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and not too long ago, you were really, really sick
yes,
in the
yeah.
hospital with sepsis. Did you have
hmm
pneumonia
Had
too?
double lung pneumonia
And sepsis.
and
And
sepsis.
sepsis, that's bad news
Yes, it is.
when you get
And
sepsis.
before that, I had even another scare year.
Oh, really?
Even yes, the Dr. Hess, I don't know if at a Charleston called one day, and I was at work, and he said, "Tommy said, I need you to do me a favor." I said, "What's that, Dr. Hess?" He said, "I need you to get to the hospital." He said, "I don't care if it's Greenville, I don't care if it's here, but I would rather you come here because we know you so good." And he said, "Bring somebody with you that can make some decisions,
Oh,
tough
no.
decisions." So me and Cindy, my sister actually went with us. We took off down there and got in there, and they were waiting on me when I got off the elevator. I went and checked in. They were waiting on me.
And you had no idea.
No. And so what had happened was my liver enzymes had jumped up to over 1100,
What are they supposed to be?
evidently in the hundreds, maybe,
Oh, my
the low
goodness.
hundreds. But he said, yes, make sure somebody's with you that can make some tough decisions because they're probably going to be made. And so we got through with that. And I mean, I got in there and they started giving me antibiotics and all. And I think it might have been, I had a case of, I started running a fever, I think it was, and I got so cold. They could not warm me up. I was shaking.
Mm.
I was talking to people that wasn't even there.
Oh,
I
gosh.
was talking to my sister's daughter's boyfriend, and they up here in Gray Court, and so they finally got that eased off. But
How
I
did
found
how did they treat that? I mean,
I don't. I guess it was just antibiotics. As far as the shaking and all, they couldn't do nothing. Just give me Tylenol.
yeah.
That was about the only thing they could do for that.
But so when he said we have to somebody's gonna have to make some decisions, what kind of decisions were they thinking that Cindy
Life,
was gonna have to make?
life or death.
Like
That was what I was thinking.
for treatment
Yep.
or
They were thinking that it might be for treatment, but I was thinking more like make decisions as whether or not we're going to go through anything else
mm,
because it was pretty bad. But I mean, it scared me so bad at work. I had to have them drive me home,
oh gosh,
and I
no
hardly ever get
wonder.
upset about
Yeah.
that. So they drove me home. Then we took off, and we actually stopped in Charleston at the place called the Ye Old Fashioned Ice Cream and Burger Shop and ate before we got there.
Oh really?
Yes, we did.
You
I
got to
said,
get that
that's
milkshake.
right. I got to get that in. Got to get that big old cheeseburger. I said, if nothing else, I'm gonna go. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die full.
Die happy, right?
That's right. So then we finally got done with that. I was there for, it might have been a week, maybe a little longer, but we finally came back home. Everything was good.
And they just got everything
Yeah, yeah.
regulated.
And on the way home, Cindy said, Tommy says, I've been thinking. I said, what, Cindy? She says, you're like a cat with nine lives. I said, well, don't talk anymore. Let me see how many I got left.
Yeah,
And
I mean, you've
yeah,
been through
so,
it, that's
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. These several times weren't sure. So
Yeah. So, so now you're just waiting for the other test to see
yeah,
what prognosis you have. And
yes.
so how are you and Cindy handling it? And how are you handling it every day when you wake up and you've got your grandkids there? And, how do you get through every day?
Personally, the good Lord's got me.
Mm.
I wake up every morning. I read the Bible. I read we get the little book we get at church. I read it, and then in front of it's got Bible verses. So I try to do that where I can go through the Bible in one year. But I do that and pray, and then every night when I lay down, I'm praying, and there's nothing we can really do. It's up to Him. So I'm just gonna be happy. I don't want them to see me upset.
Mm.
I want them to be happy. And I try to keep Cindy, from getting upset, but she does. And her daughter Allison gets very upset too. So she's actually broke down a few times
Mm.
about it. And so she's actually our little liaison between us and the doctors. She can get on my chart
Yeah,
and message the doctors. They
that's
answer her
good.
a lot quicker than they do me. So, but she does that for us. And every time we go to a doctor's visit, when the doctor comes in, we have to call her. And what she'll do is she don't write it down. She remembers every bit of it. And when she finishes what she's doing, she'll type it up, send it to me, and let me read it. And then I'll say okay or whatever.
Wow.
And she'll send it out to all the people in a big text message
Yeah.
so everybody can know.
Well, that's a
So
big help.
yes, it is. So it keeps me. I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, all the kids will be taken care of. At least most of the ones on her side are, they're pretty well taken care of anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But two I'm worried about still two that live with us,
Right.
especially because the only ones that can look after them are me and Cindy.
Yeah.
We're the only ones that have ever done it.
So has your son been more involved in their life
A
as
little
they
bit.
got
He
older?
actually has. Called him the other day wanting him to go to Florida, take a trip to Florida with him. And I think he still smokes his marijuana. And but as far as I know, he's not doing the heavy drugs like he used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's drinking like he used to. So all I can do is pray to God that God will put him in his hands.
Yeah.
And that's all I can do. And hopefully, and the kids are old enough to make their own decisions.
Right.
So try not to stop them. But they went and seen their mama the other day and we didn't know it and they didn't know it. Their grandpa invited them out to eat.
Mm.
And when they got over there, she was there.
Oh.
And they told us about it when they got home. Y'all know, she looks rough.
Mm.
That's exactly what they said.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
And they
so
talk about it
sad.
all. I mean, as bad as I know that it hurts them real bad,
Yeah.
but they talk about it all the time, say about how she ain't got no teeth and all this. And I thought to myself, I said, Lord, just please let them accept it and do good and
Yeah.
see what they're going through and not go through the same thing.
Yeah.
Because they've actually been there when the son was out of jail and he stayed with us for a good while and was getting in and out of trouble when they seen all that. So I said, please just, y'all keep it straight, stay
Right.
straight. So,
Because you see the consequences of
yes,
making those kind of
yep,
decisions.
exactly.
And I think having you and Cindy there to keep them, you know, show them
Yep.
the right path
Oh,
to
yeah.
take because they come to church
Mm,
and they seem to enjoy coming to
yep.
church, so that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah. And Cadis, especially, Jalen hadn't been in a while. He's working now, third shift. So,
Mm,
but he has some really good friends. They'll come over and spend the night sometimes. They'll have a bonfire or something. But he's picking really good friends.
that's
So that's a
important.
good thing.
Yeah.
As far as we know, we ain't done a background or nothing. But
Mm-hmm.
and Cadis, and she's got a boyfriend, so we just have to keep an eye on her because
Mm-hmm.
she said, "Well, y'all let Jalen go over to his girlfriend's house all the time." So he's a boy.
That's right. It's
It's a total
different.
difference.
Unfortunately, there's a double standard there.
Yes, absolutely. And she don't understand that, but yeah, so we hopefully they'll do good. Cadis wants to go into criminology.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been talking about that for years. She wants to be a criminal. Uh, what is it, a photographer?
Oh,
Yeah, a
okay.
forensic photographer.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's talked about that for several years now, and she's still talking about it. So,
There's a
and
couple of women that I've known that
mm,
are in the forensic
yeah,
and
and somebody else was talking about I can't remember. Somebody goes to Anderson College. I don't know if they have it there or not. She wants something that has a band. She plays in the band,
okay.
so she does do that. She plays in the regular band, the marching band at school. She's in the jazz band. Um, I can't remember if there's another one or not. But
That's good
yeah,
though. That's really
good for
good.
them, bad on my wallet.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause they're going to. I ain't gonna say nothing about that on here. About the trip they're taking. So,
Well, so as we kind of wrap up here, I just want like if there's anything that we haven't talked about or anything that you would want to share with your grandkids or you got 13 of
mm,
them. Um, because I think I mentioned this before we started that, there's lots of questions I wish I had asked
Mm.
my parents and my husband's parents and my grandparents that, I don't know how I'll ever find out or I probably never will.
Yeah, probably not.
So if there's anything that you would want them to know or any sort of advice that you would want them to take away or, you know, this can live on for your great grandkids and all of that. So,
Well, I can't tell them not to quit smoking because it causes cancer. Because this cancer I got, they don't know what causes it. They
but
have
it
not
still
figured it out
causes
yet.
cancer. Now, my dad
Yeah, it does cause cancer.
My dad
Not
had
just
lung cancer. He smoked
Yep.
he was 8 years old when he started
Really?
smoking. And I think he was 58
Mm.
when he stopped and
Yeah.
he developed lung cancer. And he became an evangelist for telling people. He would
Really?
tell
Go ahead.
everybody he saw to
Mm.
stop
Well,
smoking.
I do that now, so
Yeah. Because either way, it's bad for you.
it is. And it didn't cause my cancer, or
Yeah.
so they say, but they don't know
Directly.
what caused it. So,
Right. Yeah.
but yeah, don't want them to smoke. I've always told any of them that if they are out drinking, don't drive, call me.
Yeah.
I would definitely come and get you. Not that it happens, not that they call me, but I just want them to know that I love them all, and even though they're on Cindy's side, they know that I love them just as much as I do my own,
Yeah.
and her daughters do, and her son. Well, I ain't gonna say nothing about that either on here. So, but he told me, so Tommy said, I just appreciate you, things you do for us.
Mm.
He said, you're just like stepped up and help us any way you can. So, and so but
That means a lot when
it
you
does.
hear appreciation.
Yes, very much so. And
Yes.
Allison shows her appreciation about the things she does. And Brittany, she does a lot, not necessarily as far as us, but she's very busy.
Hmm.
And my son, he finally got to where he calls me every once in a while now, instead of calling me wanting money. And that's
Yeah.
one thing he hadn't done, nothing with in a good while, is call me asking for money. So I told him, I said, son, just make me proud for a change. I says,
Mm.
I've dealt with it for a long time. Make me proud and do good.
Yeah.
And the grandkids, I think they'll all do good. I got one little grandkid, his name is Logan. And I think you've probably met him. But he watches after me. We went fishing one time. Actually, when I came back from the hospital one time, her Brittany's fiance took the camper and set it up in Greenwood. Well, he stayed with us a lot. And if I got out of that camper, he was with me.
Mm.
One time I went to step off because they had a little step off like this, and my balance is not good anymore.
Mm.
And I went to step off, and I stumbled, and I started turning and trying to catch myself. And he was right here, knowing he couldn't catch me. He had his arms around me, trying his best to stop me
Oh,
from turning. So he's always helped me out. So,
that
to
means a
be
lot.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, after these years of going through, the cancer and the heart attack and all of that. So for anybody out there who's listening who is really struggling with, I don't understand God. Why is this happening to me? Because I think we've all asked that question
mm-hmm,
at one point in our lives.
I have.
And yeah, it's
Mm.
very understandable. And so what would you say to them and what kind of advice would you give them?
I would say that if they just trust in God, give God their all, God will give them his all.
Mm.
He has walked me through this because I told him to begin with, it's in your hands, God, and I'm in it. I said, I'm going to let you handle it. And so if you just trust God and keep praying, things will happen. And, it's good to have a good prayer group like I've got,
Yeah, that's
a
right.
support group like the church. That helps a lot. Be around friends that will help you,
Yeah.
not just talk bad.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Because when you're dealing with hard stuff,
mm,
you do have bad days
yes, you do.
and you need to have that support that, they're Christian. They're coming from a Christian
Hmm.
perspective. they can give you, you know, the right perspective on
Yes.
how to deal with things. And even though it's hard, like you either way, you said you're good.
Yep.
He's
I
going to
am.
heal you one way or
I
another.
don't know. That's right.
And I was listening to a podcast this morning, a senate or former senator that I can't remember where he's from, but he's not got a good
Hmm.
prognosis, and they didn't think he'd live as long as he has, and I think he's 54. But he said, the Bible says that once we defeat death, God defeated or Jesus defeated death, and once we get to the other side, there will be no more pain, there will be no more sorrow, there will be no more tears,
That's exactly right.
because and you won't have to worry at all
That's
about
it.
anything ever again,
You're absolutely right. Thank God.
forever and ever.
Praise God. And he, like I said, he's been my backbone.
Yeah,
And without him, I probably would have been long gone by now.
yeah.
And our pastor needed to put him and tell him about him. He'll call sometimes. We'll be going down to get an appointment, to our appointment or something, or coming back. And I'm usually driving because I don't let Cindy drive. So, but he'll say, Tommy, can I pray with you? I say, yes, sir. I said, I got one question. He said, what? I said, can I keep my eyes open? I'm driving. He said, I'm sure God won't mind.
Yeah, please keep your eyes
I said, good, because the first two times I almost wrecked listening to, oh, so,
Yeah, he's a good pastor.
yes, he is. And it's good to cut up about it. I've cut up about it with everybody. It's like the girl at work gets on to me. She says, are we drinking soda or something? Why do you drink that? I said, what's he going to do? Give me cancer?
Yeah, you may as well
Um,
enjoy
oh
life,
yeah,
right?
you got to. You know, you, and that's probably keep me going a lot longer doing stuff like
Yeah,
that because I'm not giving up
yeah.
until he tells me to.
Well, good for you.
So,
Yeah, and I think your attitude has a lot to do with it. It
mhm.
really does.
And I told a guy that one time. He worked with us years ago. And he ended up with cancer,
Mm,
and I didn't know it, but I seen him up there one day at the cancer center. They called his name. And I said, "Oh, the infamous David Byerly." Well, I shouldn't say his name probably, but anyway, he was in pretty bad shape then. But we went to his house, me and a buddy from work, and cleaned his house up because we knew his house was a mess.
mm.
Took a bunch of his scrap metal off and sold it and brought him some money back, and it was what like $80. So I threw in enough money to make it 100. Well, he was on oxygen, um, and smoked
Oh my goodness.
and would not quit.
Oh my
And he
goodness.
wouldn't do nothing. And he would sit in that chair and smoke. I went over there for something, to see if he needed anything. Will you take my dog out for a walk before you leave? I said, David, he said, Tommy says, I am so inspired by you. You are just doing such a good job with your cancer. I said, David, let me tell you a little something. If you'd get out of that chair right there and do something, yours might be a lot better.
Mm,
I said, let God help you get out of that chair. Let God work with you.
yeah.
And he will. But he ended up catching himself on fire, smoking with oxygen. And
Oh my
so that didn't
goodness.
kill him, but it wasn't long after that he died. So
That is so
passed away.
sad.
I know.
Gosh.
It is.
But,
Hmm.
you're right. We have a choice.
Yeah.
We can, and it's easy, when even though my cancer was nothing like what you're diagnosed with, I was mad, and I didn't want to see anybody. I wanted to be by myself. But then my good friends, they're like, I know you don't want to see anybody, but we're here. And they came
Yep.
over, and I needed that
Oh, yeah, you
because
do.
it helps you not focus on yourself so much,
Hmm.
and appreciate what you do
Oh,
have.
yeah. That's exactly right. And I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me because I don't feel sorry for myself.
Yeah.
And, people come like at the hospital, they say, well, I thought about coming to see you. I didn't figure you wanted any company. I said, look, I don't care who comes and sees me. Come and see me. I'm
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
And but that's what keeps me going is people and staying active and trying to keep positive about it and loving everybody that I can.
Mhm.
So I actually have a lot of people now that just like at the store in Malden. If I don't come in for 2 or 3 days, they have my phone number. and they're going to be
They're
calling.
checking on you.
And a lot of people at work, they'll do the same thing. The girl that works at the front counter, and she calls me grandpa. So, but yeah, they all are real close to me. Everybody is it. They have been supporting me for the last 6 years. So
Well, that
I
is
won't talk
very
too much, I'll
important.
cry.
That's so important though.
Yes,
It
it
really,
is.
really is. So
Yep.
I think that's good advice that if you're going through something, get in a church, find some people that
Amen.
can really support you and
Hmm.
help you. And better to do it before you get in these types of circumstances
Exactly.
because it's harder to do it, I
Yep.
think, when you're in the middle of
It
it.
sure is. It really is.
But I know if you
Mm.
pray and ask God to send support, He'll do it.
Yeah, he does. And it's amazing. Like, there's one guy that came to church with us. And I'll try to make it quick if I'm about doing, but he owned his own company. And I used to go out and look at job sites and all. And if something was wrong, I'd go out and take pictures of it and all it. And I was on a job site one day, and this day, I don't know what it was. I was just feeling down and out. And all of a sudden, a truck pulled up in front of the house. And he got out and come over there looking around, and it was a guy named Tony. I know you probably know him, Tony Saxton.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Tony.
He pulled in. He said, Tommy says, said, I was here just a little while ago. He said, but I was driving down the road and God told me to come back to his subdivision.
Mm,
And he did. And we sat there and talked for a good 20, 30 minutes and ended
wow.
up praying. And I actually felt a lot better. I said, God knows how to put people in the right place
That's
at the
right.
right time.
That's right. And you
So,
know what? That means we need to listen when God says, "Hey, I need you to do something." Because
exactly.
you get that little sense in your spirit sometimes, and it's easy to ignore.
Yep.
But I think if you ask God to confirm it, I
Mm.
think He will.
He would.
And if
Yes.
we listen,
Yep.
then I'm sure that He received as much of a blessing as you
Yeah. Oh,
just
yeah.
by
Yeah.
coming to see you.
He actually has had cancer too for a
I
while.
know.
And
And
he actually had the same cancer doctor I had.
really,
Yes, he did.
oh
Because he
God.
walked in there and he said, I told him about me being with her or something. He said, yes. Says, I think you had a friend of mine as a patient. She says, I may have. She said, I can't mention no names. He said, well, I can. Tommy Jennings. She
Yeah.
said, oh my God. She said, yeah, he is so hilarious. Says, he is never in a bad mood. He don't, he said, he comes in here smiling. He leaves smiling no matter what he's doing. So he said, yep, that's the one.
Well,
So,
that is an inspiration.
mm,
I'm sure that was inspiring for Tony too.
yes, oh yes, yeah, I'm sure it was. And I get a text from him every morning, a group text, but he texts every morning. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
Well, Tommy, thank you for
Well,
coming and sharing your
I
story.
hope I did a
And
good job. I'm
you
kind of
you
nervous. So
you did a great job. And I know your story is going to inspire other people out there.
yeah,
And I appreciate what you do for people.
all we can tell him is to pray to God and let God have it.
That's exactly right.
So just listen to him, like you said. Listen,
That's
he
right.
will tell you what to do.
That's
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you. I appreciate you having me. Sorry it took us like a year and a half to get this,
That's,
but
hey, this important thing is we got it
we
done.
got it. That's right. And I will fill you in on
Yes,
the other stuff when it comes up in June. So,
yes, please do,
so
because we want to stay up to date with
there you go.
everything.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you,
You're an
Tommy.
inspiration. I love you and your family. So, y'all are great people.
Thank you so
You're
much,
welcome.
Tommy.
Thank you.
All right.
What else?
That's it.
Say bye.
Great job.